There's a moment in every game, a fleeting second when the crowd holds its breath. The ball spins through the air, time seems to stretch, and somehow a player seems to anticipate everything before it even happens. We watch and marvel at their skill, their precision, their speed. But what we don't see, what no highlight reel captures, is the world they've built outside the arena. The unseen hours. The rituals, the sacrifices, the relentless commitment that separates elite basketball players from everyone else. Today, we're diving deep into that hidden world. We're exploring what truly makes a player elite, not just talent, not just natural ability, but the countless choices, habits, and mindsets that happen long before the stadium lights ever turn on. The foundation of excellence. Every athlete's journey begins with raw talent, but raw talent is only the starting point. The difference lies in the layers of preparation that build quietly behind the scenes. Some of these hours are physical, some mental, and some almost invisible to the outside world. Elite players often treat practice like a living laboratory. They break down every movement with microscopic precision. A jump shot isn't just a jump shot, it's angles, wrist motion, foot placement, and follow-through. And is repeated not just hundreds, but thousands of times until muscle memory and instinct become indistinguishable. But beyond repetition, there's a deeper focus. Top players don't just aim to replicate what they've done before. They experiment, they challenge themselves to refine and improve. They dissect their weaknesses with honesty, sometimes brutally so, because improvement demands confrontation with imperfection. And yet, physical preparation is only one layer of the foundation. Nutrition, sleep, and recovery form the invisible scaffolding that allows talent to flourish. Elite athletes often approach their bodies with the precision of a scientist. Meals are carefully timed and balanced. Recovery isn't passive, it's active, planned, and treated as seriously as practice itself. Every choice compounds over time. A single night of poor sleep or a skipped recovery session might seem insignificant, but over months and years, those small choices accumulate into measurable differences on the court. The mindset difference. Physical ability can get you to a certain level, but what separates the great from the elite is mindset. Some reports suggest that top players train their mental focus as rigorously as their bodies. They build resilience against distractions, pressure, and the unpredictable chaos of a game. Visualization is one of the tools many of them use. It might seem abstract, but imagining scenarios in vivid detail, free throws under pressure, fast breaks in a packed arena, defending against elite opponents, prepares the brain for reality. Mental rehearsal helps players react faster, anticipate more accurately, and make split-second decisions with calm precision. Another aspect of mindset is embracing discomfort. Elite players often seek out challenges that stretch them beyond their comfort zones. Whether it's early morning workouts, grueling conditioning sessions, or confronting mistakes without excuses, they understand that growth often comes from moments of strain. Some public speculation suggests that this willingness to embrace difficulty builds not just skill, but confidence, the kind that shines in critical moments when games are won or lost. The hidden habits. Beyond practice and mindset, there's a realm of habits that rarely make headlines. Consider how elite players organize their time. They aren't just following a schedule, they're orchestrating their days with intention. Hours are divided between skill work, strength training, film study, and recovery, all with minimal wasted time. Film study, for example, is often overlooked by casual fans, but top players can spend as much time analyzing footage as they do on the court. They review not just their own performance, but opponents' tendencies, learning to anticipate moves before they happen. Some of the insights gained from hours of observation can change how a player reacts in a fraction of a second, creating advantages that are invisible to anyone watching the live game. Even seemingly small routines contribute. Stretching, meditation, and journaling may not grab headlines, but they shape consistency. Consistency, in turn, is the cornerstone of excellence. A player who maintains peak performance day after day, season after season, develops an edge that can't be replicated with talent alone. And yet, all of this preparation is invisible to the crowd. When we watch a highlight, we see the result, not the journey. But imagine for a moment the years, the months, and the countless hours it took for that split-second decision, that perfect shot, that defensive stop. Every choice, every extra rep, every moment of mental training, these are the unseen hours that build a player's greatness. Some players even report that their off-court habits affect more than just performance, they shape identity. The discipline required to eat, sleep, and train consistently fosters a mindset that permeates every aspect of life, creating not just a better athlete, but a stronger, more focused individual. The role of coaches and support systems. Behind every elite player, there's often a network of coaches, trainers, nutritionists, and mentors who help structure those unseen hours. Some reports suggest that these support systems are as critical as the player's own efforts. A knowledgeable coach can identify weaknesses, correct subtle flaws in technique, and guide development in ways a player might not achieve alone. Nutritionists and trainers ensure that physical conditioning aligns with the demands of the sport. Recovery specialists help prevent injuries and maintain longevity. Even family and personal support networks contribute, offering stability and encouragement that allows the player to focus fully on growth. This ecosystem reinforces one principle: greatness isn't built in isolation, it's built through collaboration, discipline, and the relentless pursuit of improvement, guided by those who can see what the player alone cannot. The unseen sacrifices. It's impossible to talk about the unseen hours without acknowledging the sacrifices. Elite athletes often forego social events, leisure, and sometimes even family time to maintain their routines. Early mornings, long nights, and weekends spent in gyms or training facilities create a rhythm that few can sustain. Some public speculation suggests that this level of commitment can be mentally and emotionally taxing. Players must navigate burnout, pressure, and public scrutiny. The ones who endure, however, find a way to balance intensity with self-care, transforming discipline into a sustainable lifestyle. This balance, often invisible to fans, is essential for longevity in a sport that demands both peak physical performance and mental resilience. Technology and data in modern training. In recent years, technology has become a hidden ally for elite players. Wearable devices track movement, heart rate, and fatigue. Motion capture systems analyze every jump, pivot, and dribble. Even subtle metrics like hand position or release timing are measured and refined. This integration of science and sport allows athletes to push limits safely and intelligently. Instead of guessing what works, they rely on data to guide decisions, from workload to recovery. Some experts suggest that this approach doesn't replace intuition, it enhances it, providing an objective lens that complements years of experience and training. The psychology of competition. Perhaps one of the most overlooked aspects of the unseen hours is psychological conditioning. Elite players prepare not just to execute skills, but to manage the emotional landscape of competition. They train themselves to stay composed under pressure, to recover from mistakes instantly, and to maintain focus amid chaos. Visualization, mindfulness, and stress management techniques are often part of daily routines. These practices may seem subtle, almost intangible, but they are crucial when the margin between victory and defeat is razor thin. The mental game in many ways becomes as important as the physical game. Lessons for everyone. While most of us won't play in front of packed arenas or under the scrutiny of millions, the principles behind the unseen hours are universally applicable. The combination of intentional practice, disciplined habits, and mental resilience creates results far beyond the basketball court. Consistency, focus, and attention to detail matter in any field. Incremental improvements, compounded over time, lead to extraordinary outcomes. The difference between good and great is often invisible to the casual observer, shaped by small, deliberate choices repeated relentlessly. You see the highlights, the step-back threes, the poster dunks, the buzzer beaters that echo through arenas and across social media. You see the jerseys, the crowds, the sponsorships, the trophies, the fame that seems to appear overnight. But what you rarely see are the hours that came before all of it. The hours before sunrise, the hours after midnight, the quiet hours when no one is cheering, no one is watching, and no one cares, except the athlete. In basketball, talent matters, height matters, athleticism matters,
But at the elite level, where everyone is tall, everyone is fast, everyone is gifted, what truly separates the top 1% from the rest are the unseen hours, the extra things they do when no one is paying attention. This is what elite basketball players do differently. For many, it starts before the gym is even unlocked. Elite players often build their training days around extremely early sessions, not because it sounds impressive on social media, but because it creates space. Space for repetition, space for recovery, and space for mastery. Kobe Bryant famously talked about his 4 a.m. workouts, not to brag, but to illustrate a mathematical advantage. If he trained at 4 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and 10 p.m., 4 sessions a day, while his competitors trained twice, then over months and years the gap would become impossible to overcome. Elite players understand that excellence is not an event, it's accumulation. 1 rep doesn't matter, 1 hour doesn't matter, but 10 years of extra hours changes everything. At the youth and college level, players often wait for practice to start. Elite players create practice, and it almost always begins before breakfast. If you walk into an empty gym at dawn, you immediately see the difference in how elite players train. They don't just shoot until they feel good, they shoot with purpose and intention. Most casual players shoot until they make a few in a row and leave satisfied. Elite shooters track makes, track misses, track spots, track percentages. There is always a number, a standard, a metric. A normal player might shoot 200 shots. An elite shooter might make 500. Not shoot 500, make 500. That difference alone tells you everything about discipline. Their shooting sessions usually involve form shooting, spot-ups, movement shooting, dribble combos, and game speed reps taken while fatigued. These drills simulate chaos, fatigue, pace changes, and contested looks because anyone can shoot when they're fresh and comfortable. Game speed becomes the default because elite players understand a simple truth many ignore. How you practice becomes how you play. The unseen hours are not only physical, they are intellectual. Elite basketball players study film the way lawyers study case files. It's a different level of engagement. They don't just watch highlights of themselves scoring, they watch for patterns inside the game. Their film sessions include analyzing how opponents guard ball screens, where help defenders rotate from, which defenders are slow on closeouts, what happens in transition when the first defender is beaten, and where the soft spots in the defense appear. They also study defenders individually. Does he bite on fakes? Does he open his hips on the first step? Is he flat-footed? Does he fight through screens or die on them? Many fans assume the greats play by instinct, but instinct is often knowledge disguised as reaction time. Players like LeBron James, Chris Paul, and Kobe Bryant were masters not just because of their athletic skill, but because of their ability to read the floor. They could identify a breakdown before it happened. They knew where every player was supposed to be during a possession, not just what they personally wanted to do. Film becomes a language, and the elite become fluent. Then there is the weight room, a place many younger players ignore until it is too late. In basketball, the glamorous part is the gym, the shooting, dribbling, and scrimmaging. But the foundation of elite performance lives in strength, mobility, flexibility, stability, and injury prevention. Most average players lift for aesthetics. Elite players lift for durability and performance. Their strength work targets the posterior chain for explosiveness and knee health, core and rotational strength for balance on contact finishes, hip mobility for defensive slides and change of direction, ankle and foot strength for landing mechanics, and shoulder stability for shooting longevity. These sessions are not flashy, not highlight-worthy, and often involve slow, technical movements that fans will never notice, but they keep careers alive. At the elite level, the worst ability is unavailability. Being hurt is not just unfortunate, it is a career liability. Recovery is perhaps the greatest unseen component of all. Training breaks the body down, the unseen hours put it back together. The difference between a good athlete and a great one often comes down to recovery, because anyone can train hard once, not everyone can train hard again tomorrow. Elite athletes use cold tubs, contrast baths, compression boots, massage therapy, chiropractic work, stretching, yoga, and mobility sessions to stay functional. Nutrition becomes another training block. proteins for recovery, carbohydrates for energy, electrolytes for hydration, omega-3s for inflammation control, micronutrients for cellular health, but even more important than all of these is sleep. Sleep is not optional at the elite level, it is strategic. 7 to 10 hours a night is treated as mandatory because without sleep the nervous system fails, reaction time slows, soft tissue injuries increase, and cognitive performance collapses. Fans see the players hit game winners. What they don't see are the hundreds of ice bags, hours of tissue work, and sleep routines that kept the body alive long enough to make that moment possible. The psychological game might be the most defining separation of all. The unseen hours are not only about grinding, they are about coping, adapting, and believing. Elite players possess traits that are rare: obsession, delayed gratification, competitive fire, self-analysis, and emotional control. They are not interested in simply being good, they are obsessed with being better. They are willing to endure boredom, pain, and monotony for rewards that may not come for years. They manufacture standards when no one else sets them. They critique themselves honestly, even when everyone else is praising them. They learn how to handle pressure, how to handle hate, how to handle attention, how to handle failure. Average players train until they get tired. Elite players train until the standard is met, and then they raise the standard. If you found yourself inspired by the dedication and discipline behind elite players, make sure to like this video. Share your thoughts on what drives greatness in the comments. Maybe there's a habit or mindset you found invaluable in your own life. And if you want to explore more stories like this, consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss an inside look at what makes champions tick. Because the story of excellence is more than what we see. It's the unseen hours that truly define it.